Welcome back to Little Whimsey. I think this is episode 7, actually. Yeah, if you've tuned in before and are enjoying it, thanks for watching and listening. And if you're new to it, you're going to figure it out as we go along. Why the shirt? Easy. It's a nice sunny day, it's not that far below freezing, and I am just a blazing optimist. Spring will come eventually. The grandchildren finally had to put their hopes aside. Little Whimsy has come down over the past few weeks. The legs are off the tables, everything is packed. The boxes are filled, the bins are overflowing, and the trains have been put away. So they will see it again next year in some form and or fashion. I've mentioned in an earlier video that we were thinking about getting a permanent setup, possibly in a different basement. And we're working hard at that. The next 2 or 3 weeks, I think, will tell us whether we can actually move to a different house or not. But I got scheming on paper and realized something, that right now Little Whimsy occupies about 3 sheets of plywood, which is not quite 100 square feet. But if we had a proper basement, large scale room, I could expand that to over 300 square feet. And on permanent display, I would be able to mold proper mountains and do all kinds of really neat, fun things that would take hours and hours and hours of time and a frantic schedule to get it done in time. And gee, just like the rest of my life. But it would be fun, and we could really get creative with parts of it and put it all over, all under a dust cover if the grandchildren get tired of it at any time. In the meantime, I'm just getting through hopefully the last part of this winter. It's been more of a typical winter than we've had for the last few years. Previous episodes I've showed you pictures of the deer in the yard. They're not here anymore. We've had a couple of good snowfalls, and it's getting a little deep for them to frolic about at will. So they're yarding up for the winter, I suspect. Still no raccoons. The birds are being pretty demanding. We got through a week or so of cold temperatures and very great wind chill too. And if you want to understand what wind chill is, go outside dressed in this shirt and try standing there for 10 or 15 minutes. 10 below with a 30-mile-an-hour wind feels far colder. I have had an opportunity to use a snowblower this year. Last year, I think I only used it twice. I've used it twice in the past couple of weeks. And I succeeded in doing something. It's really neat. I've convinced my wife, dearly beloved soul, my partner for life. She understands that when I get all togged up in winter gear and go out to clear the driveway, all 200 odd feet of it, and I'm walking behind a machine that is propelling itself through the snow and blowing it all off the driveway for me, that still constitutes work on my part. It took me a while to really get that across, but yeah, she's willing to accept that I'm out doing something. The last time I cleared the driveway, I had a wee bit of an adventure. I was down at the end by the road, and darned if it didn't quit on me twice. Just swung and done. And nothing appeared broken. It started again quite readily, and I got nosing around the front end, and this is what I found in the auger. It's actually a solid steel hockey puck. It must have come off something, possibly a plow. No idea. but it weighs a few pounds, and I understand why the machine was identified it as not being snow and was reluctant to throw it. So I took that out, hauled on the cord one more time, and away we went for the rest of the driveway. I love it when a plan comes together. And now that the temperatures are nicer, the sun is back, the wind has died, there's signs of the odd thing melting in the driveway, my feet are starting to warm up again. That's the big one. I'm cool enough in summer. In winter, I am an ice cube, and my feet particularly. And there's a story behind that. If you've ever been out on a day's excursion in the woods, you'll notice that snow covers and buries a lot of things. And I discovered that one day, decades back, in my early 20s, when I was running mineral surveys in the winter. We'd drive out to work. We would leave the truck and don the snowshoes, and away we would go. Now, snowshoes have changed a lot over my lifetime. It's hardly surprising. Why wouldn't they? Everything else has. This is one that I picked up not too long ago, and it's beautiful. It's got a metal frame. It has, instead of rawhide, it has plastic bindings. It has ratchet closures. It has gripping bars on the bottom so you don't slide about on icy patches on the trail. And it's really easy to get on and get off, and relatively easy to motor in. If you haven't tried snowshoeing and you have the opportunity, be prepared for a few embarrassing falls, but it's a lot of fun. It really is. Now, of course, in my day, we did not have metal and plastic and ratchet strap binding. This is what I sewed through the woods on. Wooden frame. Genuine rawhide for the lattice work, which made it a snowshoe. And leather bindings with buckles. And an incredibly awkward tail on it, just to help with your balance and maneuvering. They were a little more awkward. They were a little slower to put on and take off. And on one occasion, I had time to say some words about what I was wearing on my feet. I was dropped off by myself. The driver of the pickup was going to go about 10 miles down the road to where the rest of the guys were working and join them. And he made sure that I was all fitted out. I had my instruments, I had the tripod, I had my notebooks and pencils, didn't need insect repellent, got the snowshoes on, and up and over the plowed pile on the edge of the dirt road, and into the woods I disappeared. Got set up, ran a line or two, and in the process of walking down another line in the survey grid, the ground went out from underneath me, and I experienced a very strange sensation. My feet were getting wet. Now, I had a set of leather and rubber winter boots with felt liners, and they were really superb. But I was definitely standing in water almost to my knees. And what had happened was I'd been gaily moving down this cut line through the woods, and there was no sign that said, "There's a stream here, idiot." So I just walked right through it, right over it, and went through a thin patch in the ice underneath the snow into the rapidly moving water. Fortunately, it wasn't that wide and it wasn't that deep. But I had these big things on my feet, And what I was carrying, that instrument, couldn't be tilted, couldn't be shaken, couldn't be set down in the snow to get extremely cold and damp. I had to hang on to that while I finally managed to maneuver my right foot, still in snowshoe, back onto the ice and find a firm enough spot that I could slowly maneuver my left foot and snowshoe to an adjacent spot and move away from the creek. That took a few minutes, probably five or 10 minutes. And my boots were full of water, which was being wonderfully retained by the heavy felt liners. And I only had about 3 or 4 kilometers to go back to the road. So I did not try to get the water out of my boots. The time was better spent motoring, which I did as quickly as I could, considering what I was carrying. And in the back of my mind, as I neared the road, I was aware that the driver was supposed to join the rest of the crew 10 miles further down. So at that point, I figured my feet were pretty well toast. I'd simply ditch the snowshoes, empty the boots, and commence running as best I could, as far as I could, and as fast as I could. And as I came to the up and over the snowbank at the edge of the road, lo and behold, there's the pickup truck. Didn't take me very long to get the driver's attention. He heard me screaming as I was getting near. And it took the rest of the day for my feet to regain any sensation at all. And after that little episode, as soon as the weather gets below a comfortable tropical temperature, my feet get cold. Very often I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and first thing I do is put a foot up against my calf. Is it still cold? Sometimes it still is. It's amazing how what you do in youth can affect how you are when you're older. So, we're looking at floor plans and basement plans and everything else. I may get a bigger, better man cave out of this too. It may be one massive family room come Little Whimsy display come man cave. And I've only got 200 or 300 square feet now for the man cave, and that's really not enough. I collect a lot of things, and I enjoy reading, and when I enjoy a book, I keep it. So I have a lot of history. Enough about that. I'll give you a couple of photos of it sometime after I get the odds and ends cleaned up from this episode of Little Whimsy construction. And you can see the kind of mess my wife has to deal with when she's married to me. You'll notice that Marley is still up and back. I still haven't had any raccoons, nothing bigger than a gray squirrel this winter. Now that the deer have yarded, it will be a quiet time, and my sunflower seed consumption will have dropped considerably. The deer are very good at clearing feeders. So by the time episode 8 comes out, we may have a much better idea of what our future is going to look like. In the meantime, there's 101 ifs and ands and buts and maybes, and we're not terribly concerned about them. The good Lord's going to show us the way, and His way will be the right way. If we can do it the way we'd like, that would be fantastic. If we have to modify things, I'm a firm believer in Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, Plan F, and however many letters of the alphabet it takes. And in the meantime, as opportunities arise and sometimes pass, I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. I hope you have a good week. I hope you've enjoyed the story of me getting my feet soaked. And there'll be a bit more of Little Whimsy as we come about the Little Whimsy, the village, and some other things as well. I hope you have a really good week. I hope that some of your dreams come true. And remember, it doesn't really matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter what turns your crank or makes you happy. The thing is, you can find joy anywhere, at any time, at any moment, if only you look a little bit for it. I never thought a half-ton truck would give me great joy. That winter, on that road, with my feet full of water, that truck was the best sight I'd seen in a long time. Bye for now, and don't forget, use a little whimsy.